Hello everyone, welcome back to Learn with Washington YouTube channel. And in this course we are going to perform data analysis on sales, and we are going to determine the trend of sales in different goods. And the data set we are going to use is the one you are seeing on the screen. So the data set consists of the transportation mode, the customer name, the segment, state, the country, the market, region, and the product ID. And we have two sheets: the orders, the returns, and the names of the people. So this is the data that we are going to use to analyze. So you can see we have the categories and the subcategories of various data. So the data is really large and consists of a good number of various goods from different countries. So we are going to achieve some objectives in this course. So we are going to determine the overall sales trend. We are going to determine the top 10 products, the top 10 product sales, the most selling product, the most preferred transportation mode, and which are the most profitable categories and subcategory. So those are the things that we are going to analyze in this sales analysis. Those are our objectives in this course. So first we are going to import the data from my GitHub account. I uploaded it on my GitHub. So I'm going to import this to my Google Colab using the URL retrieve library. So I'm going to import this data. It is just the same data, but because I want to import it from GitHub account, so we are going to first let's import the necessary libraries, that is import pandas as PD. Then we are going to import matplot library as PLT, that is for plotting. We are going to import Seaborn as SNS for plotting and displaying different types of graphs. So let's run the cell to import all the necessary modules. After that, now we are going to retrieve the file from the GitHub account. So I'm adding some notes so that you will be able to follow along the notebook file. I'll leave it in the description. So from URL library.request, we are going to import URL retrieve. Then let's have a, so I'm just pasting the link of the the link of the data from my GitHub account. So data frame is equals to the link where the data is located. So URL retrieve is a function that takes two parameters, that is the variable name and the file name. So we pass in the file name as a string. So let's run the cell to import the file. So as you can see, we have imported it successfully. When we get that superstosales.excel file, that means now we have retrieved the file without an error. So we are going to read it using the pandas library. So data frame is equals to pandas.read CSV file, and then we pass in the file name. So we are passing the file name as a string. .read Excel. So this is Excel, it is not a CSV file. So when you run the cell, just a second as we are running the cell. So it compiles without an error, so that means we have read the file. So let's call data frame to display the data. So you can see now we have read the file successfully using Python pandas, using pandas.read Excel file, and the same data that we have is the original data is the same data that is displayed in our notebook. So you can see we have the data consists of 51,291 rows and 21 columns. The data is really large. So after reading this, we are going now to understand the data by checking some properties of the data. So this one is now data auditing, for example. So we want to get a quick idea of what the data looks like. So we will call the head function to display the first 5 rows of the data, just to determine that the data is consistent. So we are calling the head function so the head function is used to display the first 5 rows, and now we are going to call the tail to display the last 5 rows of the data. So we are just determining the type of the data and the consistency of the data in case there is any missing values. So last 5 rows of the data we use the tail function, and the first 5 we use the head function. So let's check the shape of the data. There's an error. So in shape you are not supposed to have the parentheses, so I'll remove the parentheses there, so that now it will compile. So you can see now that is the shape. You have 51,290 rows, 21 columns. So again, let's have a quick look at the columns. So data frame.columns, so that we'll be able to know all the columns that we have. So you can see that displays the column. You have the order ID, order date, ship date, the customer ID, category, the subcategory, the product name, the sales quantity. So that data frame.columns displays all the columns that we are supposed to have. So let's look at data frame. Let's look at a summary of the information of the data. Summary of the data set. We are going to use the info method. So that displays all the 21 columns and the values you can see there. So these are pandas. These are the data science methods that you need to know, that allows us to have a quick information about the data. So let's check if there are any null values. We are going to use this null and the sum method to know in case we have a value that is null in our data. So as in this case we don't have any null values. We don't have any null values in this case. So let's check as the description of the data, so that we'll be able to know the minimum and the maximum value of each column, number of items, standard deviation, the mean or average. So that's what the describe allows us to know. So we generate a descriptive statistic summary using the describe method, and you can see that gives us the count, total count, the mean, the standard deviation, the minimum and maximum values, the number of items that fall within the first, second and third percentiles. So you can see your first percentile is 25, second percentile is 50, and the third is 75. So we are having all that displayed using the describe method. So after checking this all information and having a good knowledge of what our data is, so we are going to explore the data. So what is the overall sales trend? So we are now answering the questions and we want to achieve all the objectives that we wanted to have. So for us to know the overall sales trend, let's have data frame, and here we are dealing with month year. It's equals to order date. Then we are going to use lambda function. So lambda function, the argument, let's have it as x, and then we are going to have the string format, that is the year month. So string format will be the year and the month. So string format time that is the year and the month. So we want to know the overall sales trend. So we want to plot the graph. So first we have to format the time, and then we want to group month year by sales. So that one we are getting month year from order date. That's what we did. The date that you have to know. So after getting the month year from order date, now what we are going to do is grouping month year by sales. So we want to know the overall sales trend. So we are going to plot this in a graph. So we are grouping the data. In this cell now we are grouping month year by sales. After getting the month year from order date, we are now grouping month year by sales. So data frame dot group by month year dot sum. So we want to get all the sales within a specific month year. So that compiles without an error. So we have grouped month year by sales after getting month year from order date. So we want to plot now the graph so that we'll be able to see the overall trend in sales. So plot, let's have the figure size at 16.5. So figure size equals, let's have it 16.5, and then we are going to have the month year, the sales against month year. So plot have it as month year. Let's have a comma there. We should be within the arrays. So let's cut this and paste it within. We paste it within the parentheses. So let's show the plot. So there you can see we have the graph showing the trend, the overall trend in sales. And we have the colors blue. So if we change the color value even to green, then the color will change. This is really simple. So you can see the color now changed to green. So this is now modifying the graph. So you can see in our x-axis the values are not really clear. That means we need to use the plot x-sticks module to have the rotation as vertical. So we are going to modify that so that we have a clear graph. So let's check at the top 10 product by sales. So you want to know what are the top 10 products that are top 10 product by sales. So we have top sales. Top sales is equals to pandas.data frame. And then we are going to group by product name. Group by product name. And then we have the sales. So after that we have to sort the data frame in descending order. We are sorting the data frame in ascending order. So we sort by sales. And then ascending will be equals to false. So we are getting the top 10 values and then we have them in descending order. So let's correct what we had, the x-axis of the graph first. So we make the rotation to be vertical. So you can see now the x-axis now of the graph now looks really well. We had to correct that so that we have a clear graph. So from where we were, so we are getting the top 10 sales product and grouping them in descending order. So we are going to use the index. So to have the top 10 sales, we have a colon, then we have the value 10. So when we run this cell, we should be able to, the most top 10 products that were sold in a specific period here will be displayed. And then after that we will have to see which are the most selling products. So this one allows you to know which product. We have an error, so let's sort that out. So sales analysis allows you to know the best product that you can import for sale, and in which country is it most selling. So you can see now we grouped it by sale. So to get the top 10 sale, when you have the colon and you have the 10, that means you want to have the best 10 selling. You group them first in the order in descending order, and then after grouping them you display the top 10. That's how we approach that objective. So after that we can display all this information in form of a graph. So that's the graph. When you can have a look at that. So that is just displaying the top 10 top 10 selling product in terms of a graph. So we want to know what are the most selling product, the best selling product. So those are the top sales. So we want to know the best selling. The product can be in the top 10 sales, but it is not best selling. So we want to know the best selling product in the market. So we are going to group the product by quantity. You group them by quantity, and then you sort the data frame in descending order, and then we print the top 10. So you group them in quantity, that is the amount, the total, the quantity of sales. You group them, so you have the most selling product grouped in the order in terms of their quantity. So from the highest quantity to the lowest quantity, and then after that you sort it in descending order, and then we print or we display the top 10. So we have the product name in terms of sales, and then we are grouping them in terms of quantity. So instead of sales, there we'll have now quantity. So if we run the cell, we'll be able to get the most selling product, the first 10 best selling product, and you can see we have them displayed and their values displayed, the quantities displayed. So the code is just the same. What we are changing is that if you are grouping product by quantity, you just have the quantity there. If you want to group it by sales, you just have the sales. You sort by sales, and so the difference is just in sorting. Whatever you are sorting the data in terms of what value. So we want to know the most preferred transportation mode, and that is the shipping mode. So we are going to use seaborn. So after having the figure size as 810, seaborn dot count plot, and we have the x value there as the ship mode, and what we are dealing, data is equals to data frame that we imported. So this will give us a histogram or a graph comparing the most preferred transportation mode. So when you have a look at that, you'll see that you have the standard class, second class, MD, and the first class. They are all displayed in a graph in terms of the most preferred. In terms of the most preferred, so as in our case, the most preferred transportation mode is the standard class. So seaborn does this. Once you have the count plot method in seaborn, you'll be able to get such like graphs. So the next thing that you're going to do is to know the most profitable category and subcategory. So the code is just the same. So we are going to group product by category and subcategory, and then after that we sort the values in terms of category and the profit in descending order. So if we want it to be in ascending order, in descending order, and then we'll say that ascending equals to false, then that will automatically sort the data in terms of descending order. So you can see now we have the most profitable categories. So we have the technology category, office supplies, and we have the subcategory and the sales. So you can be able to tell and get a lot of information from the huge data that we have using Python, pandas, and plot graphs, using the Seaborn and the matplotlib library. So I hope you understand how we did that. We were able to group product by category and subcategory, and then we sort the values in terms of category and the profit. So I'll leave the link of this notebook and the dataset in the description. So make sure you subscribe and you like the video so that you'll be able to follow along. So thank you so much.